making her MMA debut, boxing's two-time undisputed world champion, Claressa T-Rex Shields.
Those are big shots right there.
And the referee steps in and waves it off. Claressa Shields, the GOAT, successful in her MMA debut.
Our next guest made her highly anticipated Professional Fighters League debut this past Thursday with a third-round TKO over veteran mixed martial artist Brittany Elkin on ESPN2. You can see her journey into the world of MMA with her new show, Claressa Shields, on ESPN+. Here's a sample.
Holly Holm is really my mentor. Ain't that right, Holly?
I'm trying.
She's my mentor for real.
Just trying to help with what helped me. I don't know all the answers, but some stuff that helped me, might as well see if it works for you too.
There's some conversations we've had. One thing that she said that stuck in my mind, she's like, you know, I need to go see if I'm as bad as I think I am. I want to fight in MMA because I should be able to beat them all.
She's got good instinct, right? Like, she does. Yeah.
She does. Absolutely.
Let's see how it actually plays out, and let's see who she's fighting and how she fights these individuals before we start anointing her as the Bo Jackson or the Deion Sanders of combat sports.
Let's welcome in the fastest ever three-division boxing world champion, male or female, and future MMA star, the one and only, the wonderful Claressa Shields herself. Welcome to Stephen A's World. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Stephen A? I'm doing good.
It's good to see you. Thank you for being on the show. Your first experience in the octagon was Thursday night. Was it everything you expected?
Yeah, being inside the smart cage was way different. It was exciting. It was way different than boxing for sure. And I'm the greatest woman of all time, so I was able to come out on top.
What made you decide to go to become an MMA fighter? I've read the stories, but I got you in Stephen A's World. I want to hear it from the queen herself. What made you decide to go MMA?
I accomplished so much in boxing. I've literally beat everybody you can name. I've been to 3 different weight classes, and it's like I'm a phenomenal athlete. And just to have all these accomplishments and, you know, not get my just due and not reap what I sow, it was kind of starting to frustrate me. And I just like, you know what? I'm 26 years old. Why not use my youth and use my, use my youth and my smartness to just go in and conquer MMA, because I know for sure that I can become a superstar there because they will give me my respect there.
When you say you were not receiving your respect from the world of boxing, elaborate on that. Be specific. Let the world know what you're saying when you say that.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, I'm a 3-time division world champion, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, faster than any other, person in history, male or female. And where's my $1 million at? I haven't been paid a $1 million for a boxing check yet. Showtime wouldn't put me on and let me fight pay-per-view. I had to throw my own pay-per-view show on FITE TV, and it's like, look, after you beat the biggest people and the baddest people in the world, you should see the checks. You see the cars, the mansions. It's like I put myself through so much hard work to be successful and dominate these girls. And it's like, where is my money at? And I just wasn't getting it. Where's my recognition? Where's my stardom? And boxing just wasn't giving it to me.
And so when you look at the sport of boxing, that's how you feel about that. But now that you're a member of the MMA community, knowing that you've watched it, because you wouldn't get involved in something you've never watched, you have no knowledge of whatsoever. Now that you've been a part of it, what is it about it? I mean, obviously the fighting element of it all, but what is it that you like about the MMA other than that in terms of promotion, how they really big up fighters? Talk about that for a second.
Well, what I like about MMA is that it's so many different mixed martial arts. And in order to be great at it, you got to have the same things that you have in boxing. You got to have heart. You got to have that mentality. You got to have that killer instinct. Everything that I have in boxing is just all these different sports with less rules. And I'm a fighter at heart. I love fighting. My mom loved fighting. My dad loved fighting. And I come from a fighting family. So, nobody in my family has ever done MMA, so it's kind of new for all of us. But I just love the fact that people doubt me and that I'm able to prove them wrong. and inside of another world. So I can be the Bo Jackson of MMA and boxing. Like I can be the Bo Jackson of combat sports.
Claressa, what's tougher? What's tougher to train for? Boxing or MMA? And why? I need specifics, Claressa. I need specifics. Some of us that struggle in the gym, that struggle to maintain our stamina and stuff like that, Claressa, we want to know what's tougher, boxing or MMA in terms of the training and why.
I'm sorry, boxing, but MMA training is way harder than boxing training. Yeah, it is because it's so many different mixed martial arts. In boxing, I've boxed for 15 years, and I'm one of those boxers who don't smoke and don't drink, right? So I'm in the best shape of my life. But it's like, in boxing, you have strength and conditioning, you have bag work, you have pads, and it's kind of like repetition. You have sparring. But in MMA, I was training 5 times a day to get ready for this last fight. I'm doing jujitsu, wrestling, padding with coach for the boxing and kickboxing. And then added on to my strength and conditioning because I love to be in shape. And to go from fighting 2 minutes in boxing around to now you fight 5 minutes around, you have to get mentally and physically prepared for that. So MMA training is a lot harder. And even in sparring, it may not be the punches that hurt you. Somebody can take you down and you be walking around with a limp. Somebody can kick you and you got all these knots and stuff on your shins and your legs. I mean, I got cut right here on my nose a little bit before the fight. It was because the girl kicked me, and it wasn't even her that hurt. It was her toenail that cut my face.
Wow.
So MMA training is a lot harder, and you have to mix all those things together in sparring for it to work out for you. And listen, it's really hard because your mind is thinking 20 miles per hour with all these arts.
It's amazing because you've been seen on TV many times over the years. You're 11-0 as a professional boxer. You're 11-0. You're undefeated. You've never been defeated as a professional boxer in terms of winning your championships. We all know about that. And now you're MMA. You might be the first person that ever came on national television and said, "Excuse me, a toenail hurt me." A toenail. That's new, Claressa. I just want you to know that. That's very new. That's very new. But with that said, let's get into you personally on this level. You're not shy about who you are. You're not shy about the talents that you believe you bring, whether it's to the squared circle or the octagon or anything like that. What about the pressure that people might try to apply to you because you got a mouth on you and you're willing to back it up like a lot of people want to say they do? You've actually done it. What about the pressure that comes along with that? Do you feel that now that you ventured into the MMA? I know it didn't phase you with boxing. Do you worry about that at all with the MMA?
I don't worry about what nobody else think about me, because God put all that. He put a special gift inside of me to just love fighting and I love boxing and I love myself. And I'm really, critical of myself more than I'm worried about being others being critical of me. So people were saying that boxers can't transition to MMA or that she's not smart enough to get all these different arts, or she's cocky, she's not going to train, and all this kind of stuff. And it's like they don't know me. And if they really knew me, like they would know I'm the hardest working woman in the building. Like I get to the gym first and I leave the gym last. Like that's how hard I work. So I think that people kind of let my trash talk and everything kind of go over their head. But it's like, if I don't speak that way about myself, who is? It's already so much doubt around me. So it's like everybody else can doubt me all they want to, but I'm never gonna doubt myself.
But you know the thing about, but listening to you, Claressa, I mean, I have to say, I don't, as much as you want to get paid and you want your recognition and all of those things, it's not just about that with you. It almost seems like you've got a bigger message to send out there. It's not just about yourself. You want to big up a lot of people on the come up. You want women to get more recognition. That seems to be something that's very, very important to you. Can you speak about that for a second? Why that's so important to you and what you're determined to do to make it happen?
The reason it's so important to me to big up women's boxing and to big up women's sports in general is because the men get they get applauded for being aggressive. They get applauded for, having feelings when they win and having feelings when they lose. And it's like people need to wake up in the world and know that women have those same traits inside of us. Like we want to win. we want to celebrate. You know, we don't want to just sit at home and have babies. Like, yeah, some of us can do both, but it's like some of us really just love sports, you know, and really give our all to sports because that's what makes us happy. And it seems like to me in the world that only men are allowed to be happy, you know, and do what they want. And it's like women should have that same right, you know. And if we work hard, we need to be paid for our hard work. And you know, and it's a lot of sacrifice. Like right now, I'm sacrificing 3 years from me not having my first child. You know, I'm planning on having my first child when I'm 29 years old. You know, but I'm doing that so I can be great at this sport and reap what I sow and make sure I have my finances in order so when I do have my child, you know, but it's like that's a sacrifice. Men don't have to have that sacrifice. They can just go out here and have 10, 12 babies and continue to be a super great athlete and be just fine.
Right. I got you. Claressa, before I let you get on out of here, last question to you. When can we expect to see you next in the octagon?
You can expect to see me again inside the cage. I believe it's sometime in August, September. Okay. And then toward the end of the year. It's only a few more girls I want to fight in boxing. So hopefully I can get the fights that I want in boxing and I can get the pay. And as soon as that's done, I'll probably be full-time MMA probably in the next year. But it depends on if I can get these girls who I want.
And by the way, I'm sorry, this is the last question. Why haven't you just quit boxing already? I heard your answer, but I want you to tell my audience why you said you wasn't willing to quit boxing just yet. Tell my audience why.
You know what 50 Cent said? He said, if I can't do it, it can't be done. So I'm trying to be boxing world champ at the same time as being an MMA world champ at the same time. So I'm not giving up boxing because all my belts are here. And I'm adding MMA, and I want to add that world championship from MMA, and I want to have them at the same time. Kind of like how Bo Jackson was great at football and baseball. I want to do the same thing with the combat sports because I believe I am the greatest woman of all time. But right now, I'm just the greatest woman of all time in boxing. I want to be the greatest woman of all time in MMA, too.
I also remember hearing you say you didn't want to step aside so people that you didn't like and you wanted to beat up get to take the title without having to fight you. I remember that, too. Girl, you keep doing your thing. I'm proud of you. Champion of the world going into the MMA. You keep doing your thing, all right? You take care of yourself, and I hope to have you back on sometime soon. You take care of yourself, all right?
Yep, thank you. You too.
All righty. The wonderful Claressa Shields. Thanks again. Be sure to watch her show on ESPN Plus entitled Claressa Shields. And the PFL returns this Thursday night on ESPN platforms with PFL 5.